Hello guys, welcome to TB Podcast. I am Salman Ahmed and today I have with me the marketing enthusiast Mr. Adil Mumtaz.
Hello,
Hi Mr. Adil, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Today we will be talking about the how consumer psychology affect the buying behavior, and we will try to understand the psychology behind the consumers when they step into the market and when they try to purchase anything, whether it can be it can be any outfit or shoes or any type of house. So we will try to understand the psychology. And we will be talking about the factors that will affect the
First of all, I like to start off by mentioning the cultural influences. I believe the culture plays a critical role in how a consumer is purchasing something and how they go about this whole aspect. Because the psychology, yes, there is the part of psychology, but every culture does influence how we purchase our product. For example, let's take our own example of us Pakistanis and us Muslims. As this is the month of Ramadan, Eid is coming up. So when you go to a mall in Ramadan during the last of Ramadan, you will see the Eastern shops like J Dot and Khadi and all these Nishat. They will be full. They will people will be craving in those places, but you will see shops like Nike and Adidas not as much occupied during that period. This signifies the cultural influence in buying behavior during a specific time. So when Eid comes into play, we will go buy Eastern outfits. So that is a cultural influence.
And the shops of shalwar kameez and
Yes.
the Eastern or our Muslims related outfits will be in demand.
Yes.
Because of our religious festival will be
True.
coming. So.
Because it's also it's not just Muslim thing. When you go to when you talk about the Christmas, for example, you can take an example of Christmas. During the Christmas time, the rush, the people in obviously in Western countries will prefer to buy jolly outfits, like they'll buy cookies, they'll buy trees. That signifies their culture and their dominance over that aspect. It's a worldwide aspect. Every culture plays into the buying behavior of customer of those cultures.
Basically, it will depend on the culture, whether it is Western culture and mostly they follow their religion and they will be buying their outfits according to their festivals.
Yes.
And as a same in our neighboring country, India. At the time of Easter, they will buy their outfits and their cultural outfits. So it all depends all around the world how the culture affect their behavior, affect their buying, and how they will proceed with buying.
So the main thing here is that no matter who you are, no matter where you belong, your culture indirectly or directly does play a part in how you purchase products and how you go about your shopping. And that is a huge part of the initiation of a person's buying behavior.
And another aspect is obviously the perception of the brand or the recommendation that my friend can make, that hi, this is the great brand, you could try that. And it also depends upon the credibility of the friend of who is saying to me that this brand, I'm using this brand and you can also use that brand. So it will also influence that. How, in your opinion, how does it?
Yeah. So if you're talking about social and peer influence and how that plays a part, so I believe it obviously does. When I moved back to Pakistan 2 years ago, we were looking to buy a house. So the perception was we need to buy a house in a society like DHA or Barrier Town, because how people will influence where we'll see how where we live, and how that society and that stature that society has will have an repercussion and a ripple effect on the perceptions. So suppose if we didn't buy a house here in Barrier Town, we bought a house in some outskirts of Rawalpindi or somewhere else, or Rawat, anywhere else. Now when I tell people that I live in Barrier Town, I have a house in Barrier Town, their perception of me and where I live is different. So yes, our purchases are dependent on the peer and social influences. So in this aspect, I would like to
And it also you also have had seen that the facilities here in Barrier Town, and it will also affect your decision of purchasing a house in Barrier Town, because as we all know that Barrier Town is a good community, and Barrier Town has a lot of facilities, so it also depends upon the facilities, the brands.
Yeah, exactly. When you when you go buy a purchase, you always do your homework. So without homework, you making a purchase is very that's very impulsive, or like I would say like even rash. So like that comes into that compulsive buying category. We can talk about that as well. But like
Nowadays, there are a lot of this
yeah.
concept of online shopping has become very famous, and because people do not want to go outside, or they do not want to consume the waste of petrol, or something like that. So they prefer to buy online, and because there are a lot of companies nowadays that sell products through online. You can have example of Amazon, or Food Panda, or
in that aspect, I would also like to add a point that it's not just that it's easier. Yes, it is easier, and ever since COVID, it's been a point of ease for everyone. But I would like to add that people indulge in this online behavior also because of their compulsive tendencies. They don't want people to sometimes they do make purchases, they don't want people to see, like you can't go out and make purchases like that in a public place. So that gives them that opportunity. It also gives them an opportunity to overspend, like over exaggerate on buying behaviors. So like that these things also play a part. So I would like to say that so when the example, coming back to the Barrier Town one, that is that is not a purchase I can hide. That's a purchase people, my social and my peer,
yes, they will see.
will see.
They will
So
see.
for that, they do influence that purchase. For online purchases, I can make any purchase I want because that's my deal. That's my going through.
Yes.
So that's my take on this thing.
Okay. And what are the other factors that can influence the buying behavior in your mind? What can you speak about that?
Speaking of mind, I think mind, psychological,
Yes,
is that's a
psychological,
key critical component of buying behavior. So like when you talk about the psychological factors, which play a part. So like if you talk about brands, first of all, let's go to one of the biggest brands. There is Apple. Apple, they don't like force you to buy their products. They don't like push you towards it, like but they don't need to, because they have built up a stature and they have built up a reputation of themselves, that even if let's suppose this mic, Apple launches a mic and they put an Apple tag on this Apple mic,
Apple.
and people
Because
will
they have invested time. They have invested time.
People will flood the Apple stores to buy this day one. Why?
Because they have made their name in the industry, and
it
this
has
is
the
from
Apple,
the long time ago.
it has that Apple tag on it.
Yes.
That Apple tag is, they have made themselves that high and that abundant among themselves, that एक बस एक टैग काफी है
Yes.
उनके लिए.
Then-
Apple
yes.
कुछ भी बोल दो,
Their name is
they will
everything.
sell. Whatever happens, Apple's name is enough to
Yeah.
make people go. So like, and they don't have to push everything. They just have to, every year they just make one slight announcement that we have an inauguration, we have a Apple event on this date, and that's that. So it's the little slightest, like they do the slightest to stay on top of your mind, because they know the rest of the thing, it's covered. Apple ka naam hi kafi hai.
And they have to stay in the market, because there are a lot of competitiveness all around the market, so they have to cope up with that also, and they have tried and they are trying to continue with that brand name, or with that brand name, and they try to have the brand name and to continue with their
Yeah, so about that, like, yeah. So in conclusion, I would like to point out that I think this is dopamine. Apple used dopamine to like make their marketing strategies, and make people go and buy their products. So that aspect remains there.
What can you say about the other examples that can relate to the Apple, or whether it can be any other industry? You can say that KFC or McDonald's, these type of food chains, they have also built their names, and people are also we will see the huge influx of people in front of the chains. Whether you say KFC, McDonald's, or back in the recent past, the Tim Hortons is also opened. So there was a huge amount of people in front of that. So it's the brand name.
Yeah, it's the brand name. But coming into the Tim Hortons point of view, Tim Hortons didn't just barge into Pakistani market and they were like, chalo bhai, har jagah store kholo, log aayenge. No, they study the market. They research the areas where people buy coffee and where people prefer coffee of high flavor and devour. And that's why they only tested out their products in Lahore in 1-2 spots in DHA. After I think an entire year of that, after seeing it, yes, it works. Pakistani people do like Tim Hortons. Our name is there, and after the thorough market research and trial period, they went and opened up 3 stores here in Islamabad as well. But also, I need to point out this thing. Even in Islamabad, the stores they've opened, it's all in urban areas. They have opened in urban areas because they know the products will sell there. So
they have done their homework.
Yeah, it's about that as well. So advertising and marketing strategies and these things do play a huge part. So when I talk about pricing and pricing discounts and all, no matter what, how many new strategies, how many new techniques come up, the old school basics of selling will always be free or discount. So let's talk about Ryanair, the UK based airline, economy based airline. They offer flights from UK to all over Europe and some parts of Middle East as well on very budgeted tickets. Last I checked, I think their tickets were starting from £15. That is absurd level of low. So yes, they do have their I would say drawbacks, but when you talk about they don't allow luggage, it's only hand carry and all that. But I don't think that plays a part when you look at such a drastic price fluctuation. £15 for a flight from UK to Italy. Why wouldn't you take that?
Because they facilitated the people.
Yeah.
That's a big reason. They have facilitated the people, and that's why they are very they are very famous nowadays. So
they saw the market, they saw the chance. They saw that people like students, international students, and other people who want to go to a place for a day or even half a day, and they were like, why would they go out and spend hundreds of dollars or pounds on a flight for that, when we can just say that for £15 you can go to anywhere you want in Europe and go there, spend your day or night there and come back to your place. That I think plays a huge part in this as well. So another case I would like to specifically highlight here, marketing is there's Apple, there's the brand name that Apple built, but the brand name just doesn't have to be built up over time and all that. A person can be a brand as well. So in that aspect, I would like to talk about Junaid Jamshed. Yes. He made a brand, Junaid J.
Shahid Afridi has made a brand. There are a lot of examples that the one man, because he's famous and he's credible, he has opened the market, and people have the image of that person also, that he's a credible person and he's very famous and he has done lot of work for our country, and he's very famous, and he has made his country proud. So it also there is this factor also, that the credibility of the person is also important in the brand.
Agreed, completely agreed. Suppose let's make a hypothetical situation here. if Junaid Jamshed didn't have the Junaid Jamshed tag on it, do you think it would have been as successful it is? Let's move the successful equation. Do you think it would have gotten the start it did as a business?
He had to try very hard to gain famous that he has now.
Yeah. So like, चले मैं अपना ही एग्जाम्पल खोल लूँ. मैं अपनी कपड़ों की दुकान खोल लूँगा, उसका नाम आदिल क्लोज रख लूँ, और उसको लाइक इवन इफ इट हैज़ द क्वालिटी, इट हैज़ द टेक्सचर, इट हैज़ द वैरायटी ऑफ J dot, yet I would have to I would have to like push that product, push my brand to the extreme for the initially is just to reach the break even point. But J dot started bang on, business booming, because it had the initial push, it had that credible tag, it had the brand tag, that does play a huge part in a business. You can't just go around saying that no bhai, I have the quality, my brand, my product is very high quality, so it'll sell. No, that is not how things work. You always need something extra. You always need that unique USP, that unique selling point. That in my opinion every brand needs to work upon. So that isn't compulsory कि आपको brand name चाहिए. See Ryanair, they see that every
the fares are very cheapest.
Yeah, so like you need that selling point, that unique point that
you have to have a good marketing strategy.
Yeah,
it comes into play. The marketing strategy plays a very important role. How do you market your product?
Exactly.
As I am a cricket fan, so if some team has a logo of some famous company, and if Babar Azam is wearing that shirt, so obviously because Babar Azam here in Pakistan, Babar Azam is
Babar Azam is a brand.
Babar Azam is a brand, yes. And if he wears a shirt and even if he comes into some ad of recently he comes into Pepsi ad, so it will also affect that the person is very famous, so it will also affect that product also.
Yeah. So like talking about further, like we're talking about branding, clothing industry and all that, and advertising marketing strategies. I'd also like to point out the recent like how brands can maximize their advertising in that aspect. Like for example, let's talk about Nishat and their new Eid collection campaign they made, and in the ad they used who? Wahaj and Yumna. Why? Because
they are famous nowadays.
Yeah, ever since their Tere Bin Air,
yes.
their
it's all around.
Yeah, their chemistry and
Wahaj all around.
Yes. Wahaj and Yumna. It's all that. It's a phenomena in Pakistan at the moment. It's like that's like they. This I think this is very very critical. Like if they had not used Wahaj and Yumna, they had gone for some other stars
who's not famous. So
no, even if they were famous, but their impact would have been less, because Wahaj and Yumna together, that's a whole crazy level of fans going like yes. I would like to even in my own family, my sister and my mother they searched up all the dresses Yumna wore in that specific ad right when they saw that ad. Why? Because it had their favorite actresses. When you talk about it's about your timing and how you reach your target audience and what means you use to reach. Like the means has to be spot on, bang on. You need to connect to your audience, and you need to like find a core, the how they function. That should be a critical aspect of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So if on the topic of festivities, let's talk about Coke. Well-established brand.
Yes.
Don't need much marketing and all that to get through to customers. Yet whenever a festival comes up, whenever a cricket tournament or festival,
even in Ramzan, there are a lot of Ramzan deals.
Exactly. These days, I just saw yesterday, like 2 days ago, my family was saying, no, we won't buy Coke and all these products because of that boycott and all that. But yesterday, when they saw that ad that Coke says for every Coke purchase during this Ramadan, they will donate a Coke to the needy and poor. So that
humanity level.
That humanity level, that is a technique they use to,
sell their product and to make sure that a large number of people can buy that.
Yeah, so like
And
they
can use
come up,
that. Or
yeah, they come up with these strategies at these, they know how, they have done their homework, they know how the mentality of people of Pakistan or country like Pakistan work. That is why they specifically target these festivities. They specifically target certain events like sporting events, because they know sports and festivals, Pakistani people
yes, Pakistani people are crazy about basically what I said, that they done their homework and they know that how the people will react to their strategy, or because they are well established brands, and they are long since ago, and they have a proper marketing team, or they have the proper structure. They have they have proper structure, so that's why they are very successful.
They have created this aura. They don't need to use the push marketing technique, enforce or hammering effect, something like that. They just have to do the slightest little tweak, and their product will sell, because they have these big brands, and they have formulated a strategy, or they have they know their market, they know people buy their products,
They know their target audience basically.
yeah, so like they don't have to enforce themselves. They
But
just
they,
have to they have to do the slightest stay on top of the mind, like the recall factor of certain brands need to be there, so they just do that, so they remain there. So like this, like when you go and want to buy a drink, Coke will stay on top of your mind. You're like, yes.
I don't think that Pepsi is as much as famous that Coke.
Even
so.
I think that's a whole another conversation we can have in but like in general, when you talk about
yes, in general there is always Coke and that
exactly. So these things in advertising, these marketing strategies, they do come into play. And so see, cultural influence, psychological effects, these advertising techniques, and these things and the tendencies consumers have about certain events and certain buying behaviors, they also play a role in this. So as I said, compulsive buying also comes into play. So there are a certain there's a certain list of factors, there's certain situational factors, there's certain behavioral factors in fact as well, they also come into play. So
and they have a lot and nowadays a lot of competitiveness is nowadays in the world. So as an example, there is a very famous bakery, Gourmet. They have also introduced their Gourmet cola and all kind of that stuff, and also Coke had to cope up with that also, that the new brand has come and it is also competitive, so they have to be in the market.
Yeah, I think I have the perfect example to elaborate on this. Remember a couple of years ago, there was this whole controversy of halal thing of Lay's chips, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So there was this local brand which came up, and it was everywhere, and everyone was buying that. Oi Hoi, I think it's Oi Hoi, yeah. Oi Hoi, everyone bought that product. Like, yeah, it did help. That controversy did help them initiate startup. But eventually, when Lay's said that no, our product is halal, then they put that halal tag on their products, and then what happened?
Basically,
do you use oil? Do you eat oil? Have you seen it in stores in the last few years? No.
There's always Lay's, Kurkure, and that.
So the consistency in your marketing strategies and the consistency in advertising also needs to play up a part in that. So just because you got that initial push doesn't mean your business is going to sustain. You need to evolve yourself.
You need to be consistent.
Yeah, you need to play a part in that. You need to make proper. You need to stay up to date.
Yes. Consistency is very important in everything. So that's all for today. I hope that you like our podcast, and do not forget to like and subscribe our channel. So thank you very much.